in dreams. Outside of the wasted and torn, a land of tears still remain. Soldiers of destiny calling, the border will rise up again. Gather the forces of evil and fight to the end. Cry thunder, sword in his hand, titans of justice, fearlessly stand. Cry thunder, strong in command, savior of nations, freedom of man. Cry thunder, sword in his hand, warriors defending one final stand. Cry thunder, strong in command, blessed by the union, freedom of man.
Woo! Super fast, how's it going? You can go louder than that. Super fast, how's it going? We are super happy to be here at this World Finals, and I gotta tell you, man, are you guys excited for the final match? All right, me too. So for this next song, we actually wrote about a brawler. And when we say his name, I want you guys to sing it to the loudest you can, okay? Let's try this right now. Draco! 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 Let's go!
Say Draco, and the story shall be told.
so much, Superfest. Thank you so much. We're so happy to be here.
Well, folks, that was Dragon Force. Great to hear them live in person here at Superfest, and no better way to end it with Through the Fire and Flames. I wonder how many people out there, how many Brawl fans are familiar with Guitar Hero and fighting through that game, getting to the boss level and having to learn that song. What a time.
Every Shredder stream, honestly, I've had a blast. It's taken me back many, many good years now. I'm sure as well, Drew from the community manager side of Brawl, absolutely loving every second. I saw him there with his Draco shirt earlier, and you can just tell that was his Christmas come early.
Nothing like seeing Herman Lee melt our faces in person. Well, let's bring it back a little bit here. The reason we're all here, of course, is to crown our 2024 Brawl Stars World Champion. And this grand final features a clash of EMEA and APAC once again. It's Crazy Raccoon versus HMBLE, the two teams that have made their way through quite the gauntlet arc.
Absolutely so. I mean, you know, it's deja vu all over again, isn't it, really? Unbelievable stuff. Honestly, for me, got to be up there as one of the best, if not the best, World Finals we've ever had. It's so close to cool. Realistically here, a 50-50 coin flip, if you ask me. I mean, it really is the battle of the best as far as I'm concerned.
That's right. And of course, we are clearing the musical instruments from the stage and preparing our competitors to sally forth and fight for glory. So in the meantime, we can head down to Banks and see what else is popping around the arena.
I wish I'd learnt a musical instrument growing up as a kid. That was unbelievable. What a performance, absolutely melting our faces. That is correct, Uber. Now, we're back in the lounge. Why are we back in the lounge? Well, I'll tell you, because we have one more thing to show you, and that is exactly where all of our local language casters are situated here at Superfest. 7 to be precise, and it is so incredible to have them all here mingling with us. Look, some of them are waving as well in the background. That is right. Our Brawl Stars local language casters absolutely bringing you all of the energy and all of the fun to all of those streams. So, we're going to go and chat with one of them. And we're going to do a really artistic transition while the camera goes around the other side of the table because we're so cool. What's up, guys? How's it going? Let's spud. Let's go. Let's go. The grand final is almost here. I am so excited. And we land at our German caster booth because we've got Sunny here, everyone. Sunny, how's it going?
Pretty well. I'm not German. I'm Swiss, but I'm still here.
I'm so sorry. You know what? Multilingual, and I absolutely love it. You know what? I've got to tell you, like, we've had so much fun here this entire 3 days of competition so far. But I've got to ask you, what's been your favorite match that you've witnessed, that you've casted over? What have you had the most fun with?
Honestly, that's a really tough one. From a casting standpoint, definitely the 2 games that State Division delivered at once against Crazy Raccoon, losing in the last match, Shooting Star. And then also against SK Gaming, the same exact story, Shooting Star again. The team is going to have nightmares about this single map, so they're going to need a doctor. Call me.
Nightmare-inducing, oh gosh. But I already spoken to Frank over there, didn't I, about his predictions. He's on 100%. This guy, he knows it all, doesn't he? What about yourself? How are the predictions going for you?
I'm pretty ashamed. I'm worse than Frank. That hurts. I predicted SK Gaming today. I was hoping really they could take it home. At the same time, I'm really happy for HMBLE. They deserve it. Luki Symantec and Boss definitely played it to the perfection. So I hope they're going to bring their A game again against Crazy Raccoon. It's not going to be an easy one.
It's definitely not. You know, you've mentioned it. It's the grand final. It's fast approaching as we're clearing the stage right now. I need your prediction. It's a 50-50 coin toss, so people in the chat might grill you if you get this one wrong. Just saying. Don't do it. I'm just saying. Right, HMBLE, Crazy Raccoon. What say you?
I have to go with HMBLE. Tensei already has 2 titles. Sitatompo has 1. Don't hate me.
Are you in agreement?
HMBLE, I think also.
Ooh, we have a resounding HMBLE. The fans are around her as well. These local language casters are bringing you so much amazing energy, as you can already tell. But for now, we're going to head back over to our casters to continue Super Sunday.
Thank you, Barney. Great to hear from some of our local language casters down there. The faux pas of calling Sunny German, I'm sure is not one you're going to live down pretty quickly. But look, it's a global game. It's great to, of course, have all of you from around the world in their respective language streams joining us here. It's been a pleasure, and I tell you what, it's been popping off. Let's talk bracket. Let's get down to brass tacks, folks, because we still have a winner to decide. The road for HMBLE. First, it was NA's number 2 seed Pioneers. They absolutely battered them. That was not a close game.
It was a walkover. There's no other way to put it. Humble really left Pioneers in the dust. And then going in as well to the next matchup versus SK Gaming, they looked like they were looking comfortable. Some drafts that I wasn't even expecting, honestly. They are just, that's where they're excelling, in my opinion. Their drafts are out of this world. The Crazy Raccoon as well, that 3-2 to elevate. It came down to the wire in that final set of gem grab, and were just able to prevail. The most emotion we've already seen from a Crazy Raccoon celebration.
Shitampo did a victory lap around the arena, running full power. We didn't actually catch it on the main street, but there's a great photo of him just sort of running at it. I've got to say, Crazy Raccoon, in the lead up to this match, looked a little scrappier. Day one, it was a bit how you going. They had 2-2-1 wins. That first game against Elevate here in the top 8 as well looked a little questionable. But what we just saw from them against Reply Totem, I mean, you don't down the Broman Empire without being pretty clean behind the ears. They really look like they've hit another level. This is the team that has hoisted trophies before, that has brought glory to their region. And on the other side, it's such a compelling story because Semantic and Humble, that's a player we followed for years. Always hoped to see him reach this moment. He's tweeted after many disappointing losses how much it's hurt him, how tough it was. He even considered whether he would continue on with Brawl Stars. He has one more crack at it this year, builds a fantastic roster around him. Now he has his chance to reach for that glory.
And you've got to remember, going into yesterday's games, Semantic had earned as many sets in day one as a third of what he's established in his entire career in the World Finals.
Sure.
So he's already absolutely just blowing his world record out of proportion. And with Boss coming into the mix and Lukey as well, again, that shining star from 2023. And it's just been a joy to watch this roster, a very unexpected roster at that, just excel so much. For Lukey, someone who's his first World Finals appearance, he is looking so at home.
So composed.
Yeah.
For his age, it's a rare thing to see in esports. And Humble are going to need to rely on every bit of that composure they can muster up against seasoned champions in their opponents. There's all predictions here. I've got to throw it out there. A lot of people we heard from the local language casters, from the German booth, they felt Humble would be the way to go. Arc and Ready Set have Humble in their books, and Arc, this would be a perfect run of predictions for you if this comes true.
I mean, there's a lot of pressure on the stage, but I feel like this is the most pressure I've ever been under on the casting desk. I'm 100% accurate with my predictions so far. If I get this right, this will be a record. We've never had this happen. So I really, really hope that I've got this one right. My faith is going with Humble.
And he'll never let us hear the end of it. Let's go, Crazy Raccoon, please. All right, it's time to get this party started. Let's head down to the arena and bring our teams out.
2 days ago, 12 teams set out to become Brawl Stars World Champions. And now we are just left with 2 in the fight. $1 million hangs in the balance. 1 best of 5 to claim your place in the Brawl Stars esports history books. It is time to meet your first grand finalist, APAC's very own Tensai, Shitampo, and Moya. They are Crazy Raccoon! We've met the unstoppable force. Now let's meet the immovable object for the final time. Entering to the main stage, Semantic, Lukey, and Boss. They are Humble!
Pretty straightforward stuff for Crazy Raccoon here, folks. Their mission, get Moya a championship. Get Tensai his 3rd. This team, or most of it, have headlined Brawl Stars esports for years, and they've shown no signs of slowing down. Have they looked more fallible this year than ever? Yes. But they've still made it to the grand final, going up against the upstarts, the young blood, the challengers in Humble, looking to bring yet another championship back to EMEA.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if Tensai is able to become a 3-time world champion? But Moya, his first, been chasing it for years for Tambu to get 2. I mean, this would be such a story to resonate throughout Brawl Esports history. The region that has kind of dropped the trophy in previous years, but now trying their best to bring it back home. And this could be their redemption arc happening as we speak.
Yeah, frankly, last year, Crazy Raccoon just didn't look prepared against Zeta Division in that grand final match. They've lost to an Edgar pick in the very last set. They're a team who really thrived in an era before we had picks and bans at the start of a Brawl game, back when it was blind pick, but they had to adjust. And in order to do that, they brought in Coach Rely, a competitor in his own right in the past, to smooth that out and give them some great strategies to be going forward with. But on the side of HMBLE, this is a team that are ready to succeed in this era of Brawl Stars Esports and this day of competition. Semantic, Lukey, and Boss. Their final task awaits them. The final boss stares them down.
For Semantic, something that he spent his life chasing.
Hey!
His 4th World Finals. We got a legendary drop. Let's go! Captain Crow enters the arena.
Semantic at the helm of this team. In victory and in defeat, he's been all smiles.
Oh, we got second.
Okay, hang on. Can't use that one though, by the way.
No.
Don't be using that one.
Don't touch that button, boss.
Lukey's like, wait guys, I've got to get to mine. Legendary one. We'll check back in with him in just a moment here. Again, I hope you've been voting at event.brawlstars.com, because that legendary star drop could be yours, as well as a hypercharge if you get to 2,000 points. That's when we've been putting our predictions in. That, of course, is the place to be for your Brawl Stars esports action, and it has been all year, and it will be into the future. Here's your predictions one last time. 3 of us getting behind Crazy Raccoon, 2 of us getting behind HMBLE, and the fans at home supporting HMBLE. No surprise, we're in a European time zone. We are definitely in a home. It's a home field advantage, I think, for our predominantly German squad here.
I think as well, you got to consider the fact that many of those European teams that have fallen along the way will certainly be cheering behind HMBLE in this instance.
Yes.
And I think that is something which I didn't expect even coming into today. The HMBLE crowd is loud. It really, really is. During the SK Gaming match, a lot of the time I thought it was SK cheering. It was the HMBLE crowd, and Semantic already getting the round up. You'll have to see it.
He's worked for years to stand on the stage in a game like this. In the past, exiting World Finals so early on, never making it to day 3, never having a chance for it to be all about him. And still, he puts his 2 teammates ahead of him. He puts them forward. That's true leadership. To see that someone so young is impressive. Still a huge task ahead of them. Can they maintain this composure? We've seen it. Players step onto the stage, they get carried away with that atmosphere. It detracts from their gameplay. This HMBLE team have to be absolutely locked in from the get-go.
I want to say as well, Semantic for me has been so impressive this year because in previous years, he's always been the loudest. And I think that some of the teammates along the way may have been affected a little bit by that. He's taken a step back this year. He's taken a great leadership role and he's allowed himself to shout through his thumbs. Really has done so, and it's allowed players like Lukey to really shine. Players like Boss that have always had a bit of a stumble in their step along the way. 2022 for Boss, getting reverse swept by STMN and then not making even the LCQ last year. These are players that are really rising up in just a beautiful way. They have now made the grand finals. And also, when you look at the 2 kind of teams compared in their set win percentage, there's only 4% in it. 2 sets more were gained by Crazy Raccoon over the course of their monthly finals year. I mean, they are so closely matched. 3rd and 4th, respectively, throughout this competition in that regard.
Yeah, a couple things to look for in this series is Crazy Raccoon are a team who really likes to prioritize max. We've seen it pick it up a ton of times. Why, by no means I think like a broken or overpowered brawler by any stretch of the imagination. It's familiar to them. It's comfortable to them. But some of those comfortable comps have been eclipsed by some of these new look approaches. And that's a very close prediction. HMBLE just edging it out here at 54. It's double swoosh up first in this best of 5 grand final.
Very, very close on the polls. As you'd thoroughly expect, we want no less for a grand finals. Double swoosh, the bands being in already. Quasi, Mo, and Kenji. On the side of Crazy Raccoon, the Tara, the Surge, and the Kenji also. Both sides do not want to see any of that slice and dice. The coin toss available for then Crazy Raccoon, and the first pick coming in likely to be something of the aggressive kind of nature. Amber for that bush burn. Really quite an underrated one that I think is a good starting brawler. And that surge ban as well. I'm a big fan of that, as it's always a fantastic first brawler pickup.
Also, that mythic gear that now Amber has access to slow people down by a little bit when they're playing inside of her oil field. It's a big difference maker. It really makes it very scary. And this means Crazy Raccoon can actually control the right-hand side of the map a lot easier than they otherwise would be. There's a huge advantage to the opponent playing on that side, given they have the bush cover and can move up and get close. Otis here, coming out from Humble. Previously, we've really only seen this brawler on Brawl so far this weekend, due to his ability to shut down the ball carrier and render them incapable of taking a shot.
Who would have thought we would have gone from FUT Esports last year in the group stages to this very team? Semantic will definitely be having some recollections of that as this draft coming through. This is a man that understands the mind of Crazy Raccoon, and the drafts again today for Humble have been fantastic. Gene now coming in. It's a very safe pair of hands in that mid, and that's exactly what Crazy Raccoon are going to need to have themselves here. Jesse available, one of my kind of personal favorites, but certainly for Crazy Raccoon, they like their aggressive brawlers as well. Just in how fantastic they've been on Melody. You can't really leave that in the hands of Tampo. It's open here. That's a bit of a concern.
Looked amazing in Hot Zone. It's also very viable when it comes to Heist. Melody can really chunk that safe down, provided she has the music notes. But Humble have a strong side laner in Otis, a consummate duelist, and they're going to pair it up with the Gene. It's going to be a penny here for Crazy Raccoon. Again, high damage brawler becomes a real nuisance late in the round once there's a turret developed to give you some map control and also keep the enemy gem carrier on the move.
I don't know whether I'm the biggest fan of that penny pick, to be honest. I mean, Gus was available as well, and then it's quite a nice mid to have on this map, and the shielding can be handed over, but penny can work, absolutely so. And certainly with the Amber, that combination of burning down the bush and leaving the penny to be able to lock on more with the turret. As Pearl comes in now for that lane control brawler, the Overcooked, of course, can just absolutely burn down immediately any opposition standing there. Big, tanky brute that Humble are going to have to take care of.
Yeah, it's a big deal, I think, as well, if you're putting your Pearl in a gem carrier position, because this dissuades Boss or whoever's on the Gene from actually using Magic Hand to hook the Pearl in. If you do that, you're liable to be blown up by that super. It's very, very scary. And with a hypercharge, it leaves a burning area around it when it gets popped. Squeak here to round out the composition for Humble. Some really interesting brawlers here. These two teams reaching into the last of their reserves in terms of their draft strategy to try and gain an edge.
Squeak has proved to be quite the menace over the course of the World Finals. I don't mind it, but the question is, can they keep Crazy Raccoon at bay on the side of Humble? Because they're so aggressive by nature, and Pearl is going to be so difficult to manage on that lane side. Otis as well, sneaking in, it's just not necessarily still for me, one that I am a massive fan of, but that is the Brawl Belt. The thing that both of these two teams are looking to claim and hoist at the end of this matchup. The ultimate prize in the game.
Alongside $400,000, the lion's share of our $1 million prize pool. A pretty penny. Crazy Raccoon are no strangers to this kind of situation. They have been here so many times before, reaching grand finals in consecutive years. They're familiar with this, and they're also familiar with playing in what we might consider hostile territory. They've not really had opportunities to take championships in home territory. It's often been Europe for them here, often with a crowd getting behind their opponents. It's the same for Zeta Division last year, as it often has been. The moments from getting into the game here. There was a mild audio issue. It's been ironed out.
Every day Semantic will come to the dressing room and say, today we're going to lose. And it has not happened yet. Again, that modesty that's so crucial as a player in the pro circuit, shining through. Crazy Raccoon, they've taken definitely the closer of the journeys to get to this stage. But one thing I was saying to Semantic, very honestly, and very openly, was the fact that, yes, they've had 4 grand final appearances this year, but they were only able to lock in the 1 grand finals win back in June against Zeta Division, and that, for me, says they are very consistent, but also at the same time, not the greatest teams at really locking themselves in.
So, we have some brawlers in this game that have hypercharges that aren't allowed to be used. They came into the game a little bit earlier than was expected and weren't considered legal for World Finals. Now, I'm not calling him out, but Semantic plays with his super and hypercharge buttons slightly overlapping. So he doesn't have to stretch far, he can activate them both very quickly. he has to move his hypercharge button across the screen away from his super button. Otherwise, he's liable to use it by accident, and that would be a game loss were that to occur.
And that's been the case for other players as well, of course, throughout the World Finals. It makes a lot of sense to do so. We've not seen anyone be as bold to use that as any kind of BM yet. No. Can you imagine? Certainly, though, of course, many in the crowd cheering for Humble as they are also for Crazy Raccoon. Can't be far away now, and I cannot wait to see how this first set goes.
We walked into this year, especially over in the APAC region, seeing a ton of teams rise up, start to actually really put some pressure on Crazy Raccoon, a team in the past who took monthly final after monthly final in that APAC region in 2023. They were far and away the dominant team. We saw Rival Esports step up. Na'Vi even submitted a team and managed to win their first monthly final. They weren't able to make it far through LCQ, but the fact that they got there without even competing in that March monthly final at all says a lot about what they're able to do in that region. Coco Loco, another team that have been around for a while, mostly Hong Kong, as they come through and win themselves a monthly final. That region is treacherous. It is extremely deadly. We talk about how deep this EMEA region is, but Crazy Raccoon, whether they'd admit it or not, have really been forged by these up-and-coming teams all throughout the course of the year, and they've had to work their butts off to maintain that top spot.
Tensai's 5th World Finals, you know? I mean, for someone with that kind of level of experience, you don't get nervous in this position. For Shitambo, it's his 4th. For Moy, it's his 3rd. And certainly for Moya, chasing, you know, in the shadows of his teammates to gain that first title. He's been looking to achieve it for a few years now. Semantic, especially as a player that comes to mind as someone who's been chasing that dream for many years also. I'm still mind blown by the fact that Luki in his first World Finals is in a Grand Finals. I mean, that is just something which just requires such a level of groundedness. To stay in control of your emotions, it's a rarity to see.
All right, Brawl Nation, make some noise for the last time we're getting in the game. It's a best-of-5 Grand Final between EMEA's Humble and APAC's Crazy Raccoon.
Gems will be sitting in the mid for a while until the control is there, and Shitambo's already got a nice foothold of this right-hand side. There's 2 good placements from Boss for Smur over to that right-hand side. Tensai low here, Semantic getting some good spray damage and a nice fat splatter gadgets as well. Keeps him low, 300 HP, but Semantic's gonna burn down in the meanwhile.
Okay, both side laners there, the Otis and the Amber respectively, using some area of effect to try and take control, but Tensai comes up. That's not the lane he's supposed to win here, but he's looking pretty scary. Tapped down, able to walk away and somehow goes 1 for 1 there. That is absurd.
It's unusual to see a Gene on the lane side as well as on this map. Normally the Gene takes the mid role, but it's going to give Humble some options. Shitambo will find then Luki on that right-hand side and gets the pickup. Meanwhile, our gems are quite evenly split. 5 for Crazy Raccoon, 4 for Humble, and now 6 into the pockets as Shitambo moves into a more aggressive place on that right-hand side, but a magic hand going to nowhere. You gotta land those, you don't get many in the game.
No, it's going to take Luki a while to build up another one, and the gem carrier is down. Luki, of course, can scoop these up quite happily, but Boss is that dedicated mid-tier. Semantic loses out, getting it against Tensai. 2-time world champion, really showing what he's made of here. And Boss is barely clinging on. That penny turret also providing a virtual 4th player here for Crazy Raccoon. It's too much pressure.
Boss walking forwards, and there's going to be obviously a takedown there. You've got to be a bit more reserved with your positioning power. All 3 members of Crazy Raccoon just sitting back full HP. They're waiting for the Humble push, and it's taking a time to get there, but with no utility, no pull for Luki. I don't really kind of see what they can do here realistically. The match is over, and it goes to Crazy Raccoon. A slow and sluggish start here for Humble.
A critical error for Luki. He lets a magic hand go, aimed at nothing in particular. Doesn't have it available to try and put pressure on Crazy Raccoon's gem carrier. That is a slow start from Humble.
Let's see how they fare this time around. Going in, and Semantic taking that right-hand side. Now going to try his luck with Shitambo, moving Luki into the mid with the Gene and placing Boss with that squeak on the left-hand side. I like these adaptations. They're quite smart, and already you can see how Tensai's forced back. Shitambo lower as well, as a result of being unable to shoot as many shots. The pinch between Luki and Boss is good. Now that left-hand side is cleared up.
Great pressure. We've had a complete lane assignment. Luki is now the gem carrier. And Boss has been quite a nuisance here for the Amber of Tensai to deal with. Meanwhile, Semantic, it's a tough battle up against the Pearl, but Otis, one of the few brawlers that can really do it. especially when that super is available. Tensai again, eating a lot of this AoE damage. Super thrown out there by Boss. He does get some purchase, and again, the Amber drops.
Shitampo lurking as Semantic is healing. On that right-hand side, good gadget as well, and Semantic surely here gonna burn down. He's gonna place a lot of pressure onto Luki, flashing magic hand, but realistically, he can't even think about using it yet. He needs support. Boss going in on Shitampo, that left-hand side, gets Tensai eradicated. Shitampo low now, grouping up with Moya. This magic hand needs to have the support of his teammates on the side of Humble. And if Moya is going to be seeing it coming, he's going to place a Salty Barrel for sure.
Yeah, Moya down. Oh, the hand! Salty Barrel comes down though. Moya's had to use that gadget, but it gets him out alive. Luki needs at least a 2 versus 1 after he lands a hook to guarantee the gem steal.
Luki now trying to earn it back. So much oil on the map on this left-hand side. Boss is really restricted as where he can go. Luki's got to be cautious there, just evading it. These magic puffs healing will be quite crucial. Hypercharge for Boss going in. Moya's in trouble! The gems are down and Shitampo is low! He's eradicated! Humble, collect all the goods! And get on that countdown, running back into the spawn! It's going to require a big reset here from Crazy Raccoon.
That is huge from Boss. He and Semantic can simply stand forward here and block passage for the rest of Crazy Raccoon. Humble, with the adaptation, with the lane switch, have gotten themselves a game in this first set.
Great stuff from Humble. You've got to hand it to them. They were not in that first game, not mentally, not on the map, and the adaptations worked out beautifully. Now the question is, Crazy Raccoon know what's coming. So how are they going to fare this time around in what is one game apiece?
So they keep this lane assignment for Tensai. Now he needs to retool his mindset to deal with this very annoying squeak. And does Moya get swapped out to the right side? Salty Barrel used already. Semantic starting to become a little bit of a bully on the right side, but Shitampo surges forth at just the right moment. But no gems have yet been picked up by Crazy Raccoon. Luki has 4 to his name.
Boss doing great work on his left-hand side, but now the pinch is there between Moya and
damage.
Tensai. Cleared up so immediately there. 4 gems for Humble, though they're playing a much better job in that mid-roll. Semantic and Luke hunkering down, the mute available there for Semantic also. And if he placed it at just the right time, even if Pearl is going to go down so swiftly as Boss, tapping that left-hand side, can now move forwards. He's got super to hand as well.
Mute connects, Shitampo under pressure. Semantic can 1v1 anybody with that super connecting. Oy, okay, Magic Hand gets the turret. They can now at least clear that out of the way. But Moya will have super available again soon. Semantic all ships in the night. They run into each other, and he hit the mute somehow. Here's a countdown for Humble, and Crazy Raccoon are penniless.
How did Semantic manage to land that as opposed to the barrel? Nonetheless, Humble have got the lead, running back to the spot, but the gems are dropped. It'll be a reset. They're going to play it slow and patient. They get the gems back. The time is ticking away now, and Crazy Raccoon are getting some momentum.
Tensai just gets brought down by some of that squeak damage. Another hand to catch the turret that might actually be intentional, believe it or not. Shitampo moves up, hits that super. Luki goes down. 2 seconds left, and Humble keeps Semantic alive. Get down, Mr. President.
Humble just seem to have the ice in their veins. What a comeback. Beautiful adaptations. And the comparison was a night and day difference. They looked so weak and weary in that first game, not in it at all. Just turn things around to come out victorious in the first set. It's a huge advantage.
I mean, I wonder if Coach Kanan's had much to do with that. They had the Otis laning against Amber on the left side, did Humble, and Semantic was struggling. He was losing hard to Tensai. That all changed as soon as Boss stepped up and stepped into the left lane. All of a sudden, even Shitampo and Pearl couldn't deal with the Otis. And all of a sudden, Semantic took over the game. And this is great when you have multiple viable mid options on gem grab. You can make these adaptations.
That mute there was beautiful from Semantic. It would have put a lot of pressure on Humble to gain that last gem off the mid, and he would have lost the lane as well. I mean, look, when you look at the stats across the board, really, Semantic had a fantastic game, 279 DPS there. 9 takedowns though for Shitampo, but I gotta give a commendable shout out to Boss, because once he swapped to that left-hand side lane, he had to juggle 2 players on the side of Crazy Raccoon, and more often than not, he was holding his own, he was the rock on that left.
This is what we'd love to see. This composure from a team like HMBLE, who need to make a pretty huge change wholesale to their strategy midway through a set, and then manage to win it for themselves. Let's double back and talk about the penny pick though. For me, that one's a bit of a miss for CR.
It's not my favorite. I've seen many teams kind of try it out and see how things fare, but I've got to be honest, it hasn't got the best win percentage, in my opinion, along the way. And again, with that gene pick, you know, I like when I see a magic hand used for that turret. It really is a real problem that once it's taken care of, allows you much more space to maneuver. As we move in now to our second set, Hot Zone. Open business, bands already in. Kenshi, Clancy, Mo, and the barriers, of course. We saw earlier today just how influential that was for HMBLE. Crazy Raccoon had to eradicate it. Combined with that Meg, SK Gaming had no opportunity. First pick a Gale, and not a bad one at that.
This is the kind of map is also where Nita makes her appearance at times, or other tanks. I mean, Daryl is still on the table. You can make that work. We've even seen teams try and play Rosa here in the past, despite the lack of bushes. Oh, we got a rowdy crowd today. I like it.
It's the best we've had in Brawl. I've always wanted to hear the crowd over my own voice. And today, and this whole weekend has been that time. It's like a rowdy football match. Surge comes in for HMBLE. I really do like this as the first brawler pick. The range is great to have, but it's also a fantastic tank counter. And we've seen in Hot Zone just how influential tanks can realistically be. So if Crazy Raccoon were thinking they've now got to second guess themselves. The melody's still there though. We've seen that from Crazy Raccoon time and time again. Even Semantic himself knows firsthand how difficult it has been to shut down Tampa when he has that brawler, Byron, coming in for HMBLE. Great amount of heals, and that's what you need to have. It's all about the objective, and more heals means more time spent on that zone.
We saw Moya on this pick previously, up against Reply Totem, in a composition that didn't even really feature a tank that they were trying to back up. This is the kind of map where, you know, you become a pseudo-thrower when you have that super available, of course, as Byron. So you can shelter behind those walls and flip the fights on their heads with that super. Also, going back to Surge, he has the ability to jump over these barriers. They're thin enough that he can get into a fight and take you by surprise, pop a power shield. I warned you all at the start of this game, Max is where Crazy Raccoon find themselves in their comfort zone. They snapped it up here at pick 2.
Crazy Raccoon, they've already gone in with such a wonder pick. One that has made Tensai famous across the world in Brawl esports history. Definitely a troublesome thing for HMBLE to be looking at as Larry and Laurie come in as well. I mean, I'm really liking this. You've got the thrower for control. You've got the aggression of that Max to really lend a hand, the hypercharge as well. And Gale is a force to be reckoned with quite literally in this game. HMBLE better have a trick up their sleeve here because this is a gnarly comp.
This is a short-range comp for Crazy Raccoon, though. That's one thing worth pointing out. True. Neither Max nor Larry and Laurie can really cover much of the map, and the problem for throwers here on Hot Zone is that they struggle to stand out on the point out in the open. The Frank pick, combined with the Byron, no less. That's a little dirty.
You know what, though? Watching Semantic play Frank earlier today, down the barrel of that Colette and just coming out on top time and time again. I have not seen Frank play this good on a world final stage. If Semantic, who I'm assuming is going to be on that Frank, can bring the same fire that we saw versus SK Gaming in Brawl Ball into Hot Zone versus Crazy Raccoon, I feel like we are going to be in for a massive treat.
Set number 2 will be Hot Zone, and HMBLE walk in with a 1-0 scoreline. Let's see how they navigate this with the Frank up against the Gale, and Semantic already cops an absolute beating.
Low HP, forced back. Luki already has super, though, he's been doing work. A nice phase shift there from Tensai to evade certain peril. As now, Crazy Raccoon starts to push forwards. A nice from the left-hand side from Tampo. Semantic low on 180 HP. He's got to come back a little bit. But HMBLE have done a good job of staying on that zone early on.
But Moya's able to move up on that left side. That's when Larry and Laurie gets really annoying on this map, when his team has control. Boss, gadget pop there. Doesn't actually have power shield in this particular game. Just wants to try and bank shots off those walls if he can. He's pretty healthy. And of course, with super up, has an invulnerability frame. Luki's done a great job keeping him topped up. Semantic has super here. He can start to break open the map, deny Moya's safe positioning. And there it is, break it on open. Semantic now leaves Boss to get that capture percentage.
Hypercharge for Tensai and a nice takedown there. And Boss straight onto the zone is a team wipe And Crazy Raccoon now can get hunkered down. It's going to be a very tough thing to push into a Gale with Super as well. And Humble know it. They're going to recollect themselves very quickly and start to whittle down Crazy Raccoon gradually along the way.
You've got to avoid the spawn camp, Peter. He gets a throw out, and you're dealing with a Gale Super. Semantic suffers that. It's a hypercharge, in fact, so it comes in twice, and he cycles it a second time. That is terrifying. Boss still able to step up and fight. Great catch on Tensai. You almost had to, I tell you. Chitapo is low, he's had to be firing this whole time, and there comes a hypercharged super from Semantic. Gets him the one, but Crazy Raccoon already have a distinct lead now.
Boss pushing through with the help of Lukey there with the huge heals out of there, but it's not even enough. A beautiful super there from Chitapo, and now Humble are already stumbling out of control. 84% for Crazy Raccoon, and now another takedown. They're firming him, there's only 10% remaining.
Yeah, the lorry's a problem here. Humble have to deal with that. Boss takes far too much damage on the approach, and Crazy Raccoon bounce back from a slow start.
A solid game under pressure. As Crazy Raccoon start to dig deep. A great comp, one that I feel could very much win this set. But Humble have shown us already today against this very team. They have got adaptations up their sleeve. Well, now they need to start to bring that in to Hot Zone.
Semantic opted to bring a Frank here to a Gale composition. We have to wonder if he's regretting that at all right now. Super up for Semantic. Humble have gotten to 20% capture percentage to Crazy Raccoon's 8. A good lead.
Crazy Raccoon now pushing the speed coming through, but they are falling behind. 37 now, 40% for Humble. And Crazy Raccoon haven't had a single look and pushed back deep into the spawn side now. They've got to regroup. They've got to find themselves yet again and going back to the first game as Humble playing this far better than before.
Yeah, Chitapo needs to build some supers. He cycled them well last time, but Boss wins his fight on the right. Chitapo gets behind them, but he's stunned up by Semantic Super. And this is a massive lead now for Humble.
It's just, again, it's a night and day difference. I mean, Humble come in, they lose the game, but then they come back like this.
Lord.
8% is all that is there for Crazy Raccoon. They've got to really turn this entire game behind. They just can't do it. Humble are on the zone, 100 to 8. Crazy.
Moya just gadgeted into a Frank hit. He needed the healing, I get it. But he dashes in the direction of Laurie and puts himself in the line of fire.
Can Humble do it again? That's the question.
Mate.
It was a tough first game. I was surprised they were even to make that one look so convincing. They've got that early control. And I think that's what it comes down to here. Semantic already tanking like 4 shots there from that Larry and Laurie. It's going to need more than just a couple of hills there from Lukey. Boss in the zone now, popping gadget. Does need, again, that support of Lukey, who's just doing his best to be everywhere in this game.
Much better early pressure here for Crazy Raccoon. Semantic can't play forward right now. Boss, though, wants to try and overwhelm. This is a lane switch here for Crazy Raccoon. And Moya eventually capitulates. The pressure from Lukey from mid was too much, and Semantic brings down the lorry. Boss has been out of his mind on this right side of the map, and Tensai's lucky to be alive after that shot came in. 42% to 9.
What's going on? They're aggressive again. It's going to be cautious to not feed too much in there to Chitapo. As then Tensai comes in, lovely face shift, but Boss is still there. He is that rock. Semantic playing ring around the rosy there with Moya on the left-hand side. Laurie going over the fence and does find a kill. But again, Boss is there. 528 HP, but he's still locked in.
How's he alive? Lukey tops him back up, but Humble had to get off of the point for a time. But Semantic's back, and he means business. Tensai face shifts forward, but Boss is able to bring him down. Hypercharge available for 2 Humble players, and Crazy Raccoon are about to run into the wood chipper.
How can you push into 2 hypercharges? Semantic going straight into the eye of the storm. Gets the stun there on Laurie, and Lukey can sit back and relax. Chitapo's going to come in with a lovely super perk. Is it going to be realistically enough? There's only 2% remaining. Boss coming back in now, trying to get that super, trying to get on the zone, and Humble do it. They get the set and place Crazy Raccoon into a perilous position. Semantic there saying, just one more.
Let's have a look back at some of these moments here. Awkward start for Humble. Crazy Raccoon able to get off to the races. Cycling supers from the Gale. Tensai, nigh uncatchable, unkillable in the middle part of the map. But eventually the lane assignment started to swing in Humble's favor. Here you can just see the pressure that Laurie can put down on you, but Boss really activated. Up on that right side, doesn't matter if it was Moya or Shtitampo that he had to fight. He took on all challenges and came out on top.
I was so impressed. I really am with Humble. Every time, every set, losing the first game, but learning so immediately, quickly, against a team that are absolute masters of Brawl. It's scary stuff. It makes you feel like it could be another EMEA year. We still got plenty more still to go. But for Crazy Raccoon now, they are 2 sets down. How'd you come back from that? They've done it before, but can they do it again?
A reverse sweep in our grand final. That'll be almost too much to imagine. Last pick, Frank, for Semantic. He brings in and he says, I know there's a Gale here. I know I'm going to be under pressure. I know they have throwers, but Frank just so powerful, can really open up the map. And all of a sudden, when you start to see those supers come through from Semantic, as the masonry starts to be destroyed, that's where Boss can walk up and start to be a real threat. We talked about the short-range nature of this Crazy Raccoon comp. That gets exacerbated when the map gets broken up.
It screams confidence. It says to me, you've got to ban this brawler. You've got to just adapt away from what is just like the hard meta and ban what I know that I can absolutely go to town on you with. He did it in Brawl against SK earlier today, looking at that Colette and saying, I am not worried. He did it again there against the Gale, saying, I'll do it again. And people don't learn. Crazy Raccoon banning the melody can only mean one thing, and that Humble have the coin toss. And this could be a bit of a nail in their own coffin. They would love to have got their hands on that melody pick. They would have certainly snapped it up as a first brawler pick if they hadn't been able to do so in that position. And Colette coming in for Humble, a beautiful first brawler.
Now in the past, in this tournament even, we saw Crazy Raccoon go for a crazy Bonnie pick on Safe Zone. Slightly different map, but a lot of the same principles do apply. Bonnie pretty good at the poke down game, and of course can all in onto a safe and start attacking it up close. No surprise to see Colette here from Humble. It doesn't really tip their hand in any way. It's just a very good brawler. Another brawler that, again, can attack the enemy safe from a relatively safe distance and cycle those supers if any defenders are unlucky enough to get caught in the damage. Lola here, picked up for CR. Just a very, very good mid to long range brawler in terms of that damage output.
We already saw today, against Humble when Joker had 756 DPS damage with the Lola pick, and they still lost. It was crazy. I've never seen that much DPS in my life. Here it works a lot better. I can hear you with that Bonnie pick. Certainly the first thing I look for is to see whether the Crow is banned, if that's the idea, and it is banned. It's a possibility here. The Crazy Raccoon, they're going to bring in the Kenji. A dangerous one for sure, and Heist. Is it his best game mode? I'm not massively convinced. I was surprised that Humble actually won that set earlier today with that very brawler. And it's one they cannot snap up now. Certainly, if Boss goes with Colt, I know we're going to be in for such a treat. And no one bans it against Humble. I still don't know why. Every time in Heist, they seem to bring it in, but this time going with the Bell. It's definitely that safe pair of hands. The mark going to be quite influential to land onto the Kenji. But is it going to be enough? It's not the best in DPS.
This is definitely a control-oriented brawler. Humble are assuming if Crazy Raccoon want to try and take up residence in the middle of the map in that grassy area, Boss can actually get some extra value as those shots will bounce between enemy targets that are within close proximity.
Certainly with the Lola, that's their thinking process there, is to simply use that ego and Semantic there maybe indicating about swapping lanes there as well.
The bell shots bounce between Lola and her ego.
Exactly.
8-bit here for Humble. Okay. This is an interesting one. I mean, a few different ways you can take this, but this really does scream to me, we want to set up shop in the middle of the map. We want to just dominate in the control game and then start to use Colette to pressure that safe down, use our safe long range, whether it's extra credits or, war cartridge here from Lukey, or cheat cartridge, excuse me, remains to be seen, but nice way to round out a composition that had maybe questionable levels of damage output. Ah, the old faithful.
If that hypercharged turret lands onto the Humble safe, it will be decimated in seconds. The Jesse pick is a very strong one for Crazy Raccoon, but for Humble, they've just got to not feed into it and do their very best to avoid giving more power over to Crazy Raccoon. Not going to be easy to do with a slow and sluggish 8-bit. And that damage boost of the bouncing shots will go between the two. Without the plugged-in star power, we'll see what that 8-bit is bringing to the table. If that's not the case, then it could be even more challenging to avoid feeding into that Jesse.
Okay, it's going to be cheat cartridge here. For this 8-bit, plugged in, also taken as the star power arc. Let's see how these lanes pan out. Shitampo getting kind of pummeled there by Boss. Gotta respect the 8-bit, and there's the damage booster deployed.
Tensai forced back, and now is the heal, but Boss comes in, and look at that! Tapping up so strongly in that right-hand
this
side.
damage?
Beautiful mark there from Luki. The team play is unreal, and as quickly as that, Humble on the safe.
This is it. The set that Humble need to take to hold the belt aloft. Crazy Raccoon have decent mid-control if they can get there, but they've got to start to win some of these poke battles. Boss is down here. Shitampo's fun has made his way through finally. Now threatens the safe. Moya has an eco up, but it's spaced back from the Lawless. We need to get quite close to get both shooting at that safe. Big damage here for Crazy Raccoon. And now they'll get ahead.
A lovely lineup there for Semantic to really line up the turret and some extra damage on that left-hand side. It made for a good defense, but it has pushed Crazy Raccoon into a small lead. Tampo forcing that left-hand side, but a nice mark hypercharge there from Luki, and Semantic staying firm in position, looking to try to earn that hypercharge, of course. If he gets down to the safe, it'll be devastating. Tensai has hits. That's a huge concern for Humble. I think he'll be so cautious now on defense.
But this is what we talked about. Set up shop in mid-arc and be immovable. Crazy Raccoon haven't been able to unseat Humble from this part of the map. Boss is able to fall back. Semantic helps him bring Shitampo down. Crazy Raccoon to 51% on their safe. Tensai's got to dodge a whole lot of these shots. Luki does fall, but here's some free damage for Semantic.
Goes in, uses it onto Moya. Not the greatest of connections, let's be honest, but enough damage to give themselves a little bit of a cushioning as we approach the 30-second mark, and Luki is staying so strong on this left-hand side, bouncing his time between that mid, but Shitampo now lurking forwards, marked up immediately. The accuracy of Humble is great, but now CL can collect themselves and go in for a push.
Playing around that damage booster now. Boss obviously wants to make sure he benefits from speed, and we're switching into a defensive stance here for Humble. They want to try and pressure Crazy Raccoon down before they think to come forward. Mark on Shitampo. Tensai there with a star power. Scrappy's hitting hard. 49%. It's getting low. Moya in a present. Ah! There it is.
Semantic!
3 seconds.
He's got it, Marty!
Gets Humbled around the solo mission onto the safe with the Colette Super. And Humble are 1 game away.
The crowd is electric. Coming into this set, Semantic said 1 more set. And now it's 1 more game to take home the gold. Already a swift eradication of Tensai there as Shitampo and Moya left all alone. And these marks from Luki, we gotta talk about them. They're landing every single time on that Kenji, time and time again. And that is the thorn in the side of Crazy Raccoon.
Have we ever seen a debut from a rookie on the world stage like this? He has been incredible over the course of the weekend. Semantic though, it's a whiff off that super. Still shielded up enough. Moya definitely has to respect this. Has to watch out for the bouncing damage from Luki. Tensai struggling against the 8-bit. Takes the tap and Boss finishes the job. Shitampo also quite low here. Luki playing from inside that damage booster means the Bell is a legitimate threat. Another ego that's going to be short-lived as Moya has to throw them so far away from himself.
It's just a matter of time before Boss will pick him up. Semantic as well, right into the mid for Tensai. You need to be saving that ready for the safe. Semantic now just going to use that onto the 3 shots that he's able to obtain. Gets the 10%, gives Humble a small lead.
It's a narrow one, 6% here. Crazy Raccoon starting to posture towards Humble's safe. Boss is down, Moya's a problem here. Has another super available, so the damage output will be dastardly. Semantic just wants to play around the wall here. Boss back off respawn, but the Kenji in the left is a problem.
Tensai has got hypercharge as well, but Luki finds it.
He's
Gets
down.
the follow-up as well. The taps are on point, and now Boss coming forwards there. Not going to be popping Gadget just yet. Wants to reserve it slightly.
They're ignoring
Remember,
him.
Shitampo is on the safe. He is marked up, and he is getting consistent damage
Luki.
in for Crazy Raccoon.
Crazy Raccoon are ahead now. The Kenji gets to have his way with the safe and brings Luki down. Humble have got to respond. Super there from Semantic onto the safe for Crazy Raccoon. A slim lead here for Humble. Luki has a second bite at the apple. Still trying to get this Kenji out of the way. It's even at 67 apiece.
A nice takedown there from Boss, and he kept his own life in the process. Not an easy thing to do there, as Semantic was low himself and couldn't necessarily tank. Good taps to the left-hand side. Moya low now, forcing out the ego, but the ego goes down so quickly. Great mark again from Luki, popping the hypercharge, and they secure the right side of Tensai.
Here we go.
Semantic going in, nice hypercharge and some great damage along the way. The time is ticking.
11 seconds left in the game. Sitapo has to go for a super to dodge the shot, but Boss is going to be there at Tensai with a hyper. No turret to use. Humble, 50%. Crazy Raccoon have fallen short. And here we have 3 Humble guys who just happened to be the best Brawl Stars team in the world.
Unbelievable! Such a phenomenal performance from Humble this year. Just unreal. The fist pumps and the respect. A wonderful, wonderful performance. Staying modest keeps you grounded, but being victorious cements a legacy. As they approach the belt, to lift it, and Humble are your Brawl Stars World Champions!
Finally, Semantic has his day. From humble beginnings to glorious ends. That's been the story of this team. Formed for one purpose, to achieve greatness. And we've got to hear it from the boys themselves. Let's head down to the stage, get some words from your world champions.
Semantic, Lukey, Boss. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise one more time for Humble! Looks great on you, Semantic. How are you feeling, buddy? Try to put into words the emotions that you're feeling right now in the Superfest arena.
Any emotion you can think of, it's coming to my mind. Happiness, all the energy we put in this year, it's all paying off. Finally, new roster this year with Boss insane, Luki insane, Kennen insane, whole Unbelievable insane. Everything's just coming together. It worked out, and I'm almost crying. It's so nice.
It's great to see the emotion. We can tell how much it means to you. The crowd are absolutely loving it. You had such a great reception. Lukey's first Worlds as well. And you kind of had a bit of a situation at Worlds. You were having a tough time, and it feels like the curse is lifted, right?
Yes, I was used to known to literally not win a single Worlds match and have a second place curse. I broke both of them. I got off group stage, I got off quarterfinals, and I won the World Final!
Now, as we can all hear, both at home and right here in the arena, the support has been overwhelming. The fans have been absolutely brilliant throughout this entire weekend of competition. Is there anything that you guys would like to say to them?
Thank you to every single supporter right now on the stage. Wherever you're watching, to everything. Not only this year, the years before, the one before that, before that. I love you all. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you.
Just one more thing. One final thing before I let you go. $400,000. Yeah, I know. Did you forget about that one? The Brawl Stars World Championship belt. And also, Semantic has been voted MVP of the Brawl Stars World Finals! You've all done amazing. You've all done absolutely phenomenally. And thank you so much. Congratulations one more time. We're going to get you to lift that championship belt one final time. Ladies and gentlemen, for the last time at the Brawl Stars World Finals, your champions, Humble! Thank you so much to everyone for watching and for being right here at Superfest as well. It's been absolutely amazing to be a part of. To all the players, thank you so much for all your hard work. Please come back next year and come back stronger. To the talent, you are all absolutely brilliant to work with. Thank you so much for all your hard work. Production and set design have been fantastic throughout as well. Thank you so much. And there's nothing really left to say here, but that is it from us here at Superfest. My name is Banks, and we'll see you very, very soon.